Hi, everyone. Like you said, my name is Lorena, and I am an urban forestry coordinator with Arizona Sustainability Alliance, AZSA for short. And we're a nonprofit organization. So when I came in is in the year of 2023. It was back in March. And I had just gotten my degree or my bachelor's in sustainability with a focus on urban development. And then before that, I was in Iceland, Reykjavik. I did a little bit of renewable energy studies over there. So I was really excited to kind of get my first like sustainability field job. And, with that, it was the roundtable. We also do some tree monitoring, and my partner who also does the tree planting, his name is Paul Falsoni, who's also on this call. And, he takes the monitoring on. And then on my end, it was the Urban Forestry Roundtable. And so this was kind of picking up where Kayla Killeran, who now works with the city of Phoenix, kind of had started. And so I'll talk a little bit about the roundtable and a couple of the committees that are attached to that. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Alrighty. Everybody see it okay?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So just a little bit about the Urban Forestry Roundtable. It was created back in 2019, and the goal or the mission of the roundtable itself was to work collaboratively, find ways to mitigate the heat island, improve local air quality, and find ways to increase tree equity. And so that was kind of co-created with the other nonprofit, which is American Forest. So Jake sends his regards. And what we wanted to do with the roundtable was, we didn't want it to be sort of like a think tank. We wanted to try to do real solutions, how we can do it here on the ground. And that kind of sparked the interest of creating some subcommittees with that. And the first one that was actually created was the tree species subcommittee that was also started by Kayla Killeran. And then slowly we started adding the business partnership subcommittee, a municipality subcommittee, and now the workforce development subcommittee. And so I'll talk a little bit about those here in a sec. But like I said, it started in 2019, and so we wanted to go ahead and find a way to bridge that gap. So the first thing that we did was, we created a survey to try to find in ways that we could do so. So we asked, what does the organization that you work with provide in regards to trees and urban forestry? And we kind of got some different answers to that, like public education, tree planting, bilingual sources, tree maintenance. Those were some of the examples. And part of that was trying to identify, this is the organization that can provide this, where are you located? Where can you provide this in the area? And so that's kind of how we came out to be the Phoenix metropolitan area as a focus. Something else that was also asked was, what resources does your organization need in order to increase or improve that work that you're currently doing or wanting to do? And, there were a lot of answers about that. We need more advocacy resources, a tree stock and inventory, and then maybe different other things that were more municipality and government driven. And so there were some needs that, we found that we could find a way to do that through the roundtable and its subcommittees. So since conception, we have 168 members. And so Arizona Sustainability Alliance has kind of emceed that roundtable. It has kind of gone through with a couple of kind of changing hands. And so we continue to lead that. And we have a couple different people from other organizations, stakeholders that lead some of the committees as well. There have been a lot of really great projects that kind of have come off from the roundtable itself. For example, we had the Arizona Urban Forestry Education Initiative. So this was a project that was started by Arizona Sustainability Alliance, and this was through the roundtable itself. We had members of the roundtable, by Trees Matter and AZSA, speak at the Arizona Nursery Association's annual conference. And 50 members of that participated in the presentation about the roundtable. One of the most kind of recent ones that we had was the HOA Tree Stewards Program. So this was a program that was more emceed by AZSA, and it was funded through AZDFFM. So it was the training of the tree stewards, and following that, we'll have a tree planting in April. So that's going to be in Buckeye. So we're really excited about that. And we just got more funding to continue the tree stewards. We'll be partnering with City of Mesa. And again, all of that was stuff that happened through collaboration and partnerships through that. So one of the subcommittees that we created was the Business Partnership Subcommittee. So we wanted to find a way to improve tree canopy by engaging and collaborating with other businesses, property owners, more so businesses that had an emphasis in a large capacity, even corporations, and find a way for them to do proper maintenance, proper I see a lot of trees and they have kind of like the metal wiring. And so we kind of want to move past that and, provide some information on like arbor ties as a better substitution for that. And sometimes, businesses don't really have that knowledge or take that on. So by having some resources that we can provide to them, we thought we could bridge that gap there. So some focus points on that, we're just providing volunteers for plantings, maintenance, and find some community engagement. So we wanted to go ahead and find networking opportunities as well, maybe find some strategic messaging that we could provide. But overall, this was more so focused on getting businesses to kind of get together about the urban forestry. And so the big project that we kind of started with that since our first meeting last year was the Tree Equity Score Initiative Toolkit. So this was a really cool project that actually was started by the Valley Leadership Environmental Sustainability Impact Team. And so they were working in partnership with American Forest and the City of Phoenix, and they teamed up to increase the tree canopy in Arizona, specifically in Phoenix. And they were wanting to use the American Forest Tree Equity Score tool to identify, heat vulnerable historically marginalized communities that were in need of some trees, pedestrian corridors, public transit stops, parks, of course, and schools in the area. And so the way to do that was they created a toolkit to increase awareness and information on tree equity. And so that was a project that had kind of been at a halt, and now they're at a place where Valley Leadership is now going through like the marketing phase, getting the tool kit together, making it easily digestible and open to the public. And so the business partnership comes in and we'll be able to go ahead and assist with creating the next tree equity score toolkit for hopefully the City of Mesa, City of Tempe, Glendale, and hopefully it can be a little bit more in tune with what the municipality itself needs. And then we have the municipality subcommittee. So the municipality subcommittee was to increase tree equity and improve existing tree canopy within Maricopa County. We wanted to do that by fostering and enhancing communication. We wanted cooperation and collaboration between different cities, tree planting organizations, and others in the general community. So there were a couple of different projects that, people wanted to kind of take on, and there were some that were more dire need than others. Tree monitoring and mortality is an issue that continues to come up, at every roundtable meeting. City code and ordinance alignment was something else that, we want to go ahead and take on, but there's just so much red tape there. And something else was like grant opportunities and working with HOAs, one of our members, Roger, he's really pushing for some more action and working with HOA communities. So we wanted to go ahead and do something that kind of touched on all of those points, while also finding a way that was a little bit more easily digestible piece. So what we created was, our first big project was going to be the municipality toolkit. So the goal of the toolkit itself was to find canopy monitoring and maintenance best practices to increase canopy cover all through Maricopa County. So we have a couple of different areas that we're kind of focusing on. And right now we're in the research phase of the project. So we're getting all of the information that we can. We have different partners that have, allocated their resources, their knowledge. We have like tree planting prioritization. So that's something where Jake from American Forest is helping us put some, tree equity score analyzer language in there, some inventory collection methods, data management, GIS integration, monitoring, canopy maintenance. Irrigation was a big thing that we also wanted to make sure we put, proper installation, monitoring, and some folks even, wanted to get some information on just some contractor management, how to create those contracts of template or examples of what that could look like. And, we had a separate meeting with it, for City of Goodyear. They provided a lot of great, previous contractor management, information that they had. And so those are some things that we're able to add into that toolkit. So we can kind of all come to a consensus of how to go about these things, and right tree, right place. We have partners like APS and SRP who are also adding, some of their information on some of the best trees to put under power lines and stuff like that. And which is a really great segue to our next committee that we have, which is the Tree Species Committee. So this one was kind of created collaboratively from Kayla Kilran and then Michael Chamberlain. And so the big form of this group was, formed to review the MCAT tree species list with the goal of developing a comprehensive list that was suitable for trees that were going to be planted in the valley itself. So the goal of all of this partnering was, create a list that's being reviewed, come to a consensus of some of the best performing trees in the area. And then after that, try to create sort of a PDF or toolkit, if you might say, of what the species looks like. So that way, everybody can have the best information, most up-to-date information as possible for that. So some of the groups that could use this would be like landscape contractors, maintenance companies, city and urban planners. But we also want to have something where it's open to the community and the public. So that way, if you're planting a tree in your own backyard, you can take a look at this list and see which one might be best for you. And so that's where that tree reference guide comes. And they went through and created that, and it was open to the public. So you can actually view it now through the Maricopa County Cooperative Extension. And then I can go ahead and just post a link there as well for anybody to go and take a look. So now that this has kind of been created, it was first shared in the Shade Conference of last year. And the next phase of the project is going to be to get some updated photos to add to that list. And then we're also just looking to get more of the species that did not make it in the first cut. So we're going to get some updates on there as well as more updated data. So here are some of the members that, contributed to that reference list. So we have a couple of different people from different organizations. These are not all, but these are just some that have kind of contributed to that. So now we're able to make those revisions after getting that first one out. And then finally, we have our workforce development subcommittee. So the committee itself was created to cultivate skilled and diverse urban forestry workforce, working collaboratively to develop and implement strategies that promote equitable education, training, and, even career opportunities. So the way to do this was to enhance stewardship for urban forests, foster place-based sustainability practices, and then create equitable green job opportunities for communities while fostering a deeper appreciation and understanding of the vital roles of trees in our urban environment. And so we wanted to bridge that gap between professionals in the industry and people who are working in the field outside of technical professionals, to identify the biggest challenge to increase a healthy urban forest in Phoenix, among other cities. And then also was how to think vertically and horizontally about the different career pathways, as well as entry points. That was really the biggest thing, how to create those entry points. And maybe that looks like some of the nonprofits that are involved to get that first started, or having some more open opportunities for people in the urban forestry industry. And that's something that we kind of discussed with this subcommittee itself, was to view the urban forestry as an actual industry, which is something that I think hadn't been done too much in the past. So this committee is attached to the ASU's IRA funding project. So the Greater Phoenix Urban Forestry Accelerator Initiative will develop a comprehensive, industry-supportive, self-sustaining urban forestry workforce development and entrepreneurial ecosystem. So the project is going to conduct an industry needs assessment to support urban forestry entrepreneurs in underserved communities, co-create and implement community scale urban forestry plans with residents, and deliver a new workforce development curriculum with industry community partnerships. And so those partnerships would be like Arizona Sustainability Alliance, Trees Matter, and among others. So this is going to be through workforce development, planning community engagement, and extreme heat. So this is the committees that we have along with the roundtable. So if you're interested in joining, you can just email me or Paul Fasoni as well. So I'll drop the emails in there in the chat. But other than that, we really want people who are interested and or just looking to get more information, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to get you added on there.